The Christmas trees have arrived and aren't quite ready to be brought inside because, well, this. The central hallway should be decked out with lights and a tree, but is currently home to a bunch of wallboard and a toilet. If you watched last week's vlog, I painted one of the guest rooms black. I love black, but in this particular case, it just didn't look right. The repainting has begun. Well, I've ended up repainting. The black just wasn't sitting right with us. It just sort of weighed the room down. So we decided to go with not a sage green, but more of a, I guess you could call it a grayish. So it's sort of, a grayish, greenish, brownish color, whatever that is. But I think it complements the fireplace beautifully, and it brightens the whole room up. I did do the sage green around the windows, so I kept that color, so there is a bit of a contrast. This is only a first coat, so I have some touch up to do around the top and second coat, and then we'll be good to go. So this week this room will be done, and then I can get it furnished and finally be done with it. So that's good news. Right, Fluffy? Then you'll have a new spot to sleep, right? Yeah. Good kitty. Finding tall enough side tables to sit beside the four-poster bed proved to be difficult. I found this pair at a brocante, but was a little hesitant about the brown. But I bought them anyway and decided that a blue-green paint would transform them into something a bit more interesting. We're coming up on what feels like day 947 of the bathroom renovation, but we are making progress.
We routed the drain pipes from, it used to go down the center, and we moved it over into the side.
Why did we do that?
Because we're building this cubby here that's going to be in the shower.
That's a wine bar, right?
Yeah, 2 taps.
Beer and wine.
No, it's going to be for all the
Yeah.
various shampoo bottles and stuff.
Because there are 3 women in the house.
Yeah.
And yes, a lot of hair products going on.
And this is where the shower faucet is going to be. This is the shower valve, pretty substantial, and it's going to mount here in this area.
Right, and that wasn't the area we had originally envisioned it.
Right, the original plan was to have it on that wall because the shower head's going to come out there.
Yeah.
But this wall is solid rock, and this valve is quite large, and we would have had to take a bunch of rock out just to make a space for it, and then you have to have something like wood, something hard to attach it to. So this will just work better. And
I think it's fine.
Yeah, and the rainfall shower head will be up there, come down here.
Right. Yeah. And will you demonstrate once the shower's complete?
Of course.
So this upcoming week will really be, we'll see a huge change in this room because now that you have the wall built,
right, Well, the next step is putting the wallboard on. But first we have to get everything done, like electrical, whatever happens behind the wall.
Yep.
So that first, the sides. Basically, we're doing all the walls with wallboard.
So we will have a bathroom for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll go fast.
Yeah,
if you're working
definitely.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. But we did have a mishap, which I wasn't that thrilled about, but there's nothing you could do about it. When you guys were drilling...
If you can see on this side, you can't really tell, but these are the attachments into the wall, and there's a lot of them. If you look up, going up there.
Yeah.
And on this wall, after the first one was a problem, we did the minimum, which I think was 3, and then did some bracing over there to make it still strong without having so many things going into the wall.
And then what happened?
Well, the other side of this wall is the guest room. It's not a very thick wall.
No.
So even though we were using the shorter mounting studs, just the process of drilling it out made some of the plaster fall off.
Yeah, so
in the
now
other
that's
room.
my job to fix that.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's not huge, but it's annoying.
Well,
but that's what happens.
If you're gonna make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs, right?
Oh God, that's a... don't do that. So this is the other side of the bathroom wall, so you made...
Right. There are 3
Yeah,
boo-boos.
so, I mean, and you can see the...
It's mostly just from the vibration that
Right. So I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Add that to my list. While we were filming in the guest room, I looked out the window and noticed Uvea was outside of the donkey fence in the big field. We once had an incident where both donkeys escaped and took a stroll down the allée. I didn't want a repeat situation, so we had to run out and see what was going on. So we had a breach. Uvea got out of the fence somehow into the other section of the field. You can tell on the right side is where the donkeys stay, and the left side is obviously greener. They haven't been into that field, so we have to check the fence. Hi, Dominic. How did she do that? I saw her from the window wandering through the field, so I don't know how she got out. Uvea, how'd you get in there? Dominic's waiting for apples because he knows I have something. So Lincoln's checking the fence. The rest of the field is still fenced and electrified, but still, if there's a hole, we don't want her wandering around. So Lincoln's checking. I don't know how she got in there. We usually come out and check the fences once a week.
I was looking for a break in it, but it's not broken. A spot where it's broken.
Is there any way to let her back in?
Gotta turn her off first.
Yeah. Maybe she was so hungry, she needed more grass. Big fatty. Hey, he's sniffing at me. He wants an apple. So now that they found the field with all the... Oh, look at the deer. Oh my gosh. The dogs are barking. They must have heard the deer. I hope they don't get shot, those deer. They're protected on our property, but once they're out of bounds, they're a target. They're beautiful, though. So I think we're just going to leave the donkeys in the field until we get more hay, so they have some grass to munch on. I think they've pretty much depleted.
Yeah, they'll figure out that they can go through this. But...
Yeah. Okay, donkey, so you stay here and have some grass. until you get some hay, and then you're back in your little spot. Oh, look at the rabbit.
That's a big one. Fat.
Wow, we're seeing all sorts of things this morning.
The hunters are chasing.
Do you think the hunters
onto
are?
our property? I haven't heard any shots.
No, I haven't heard any shots either.
But they may know.
I know, but they're going the wrong way. They're headed off of our property.
Oh no, that's over there.
I know, but they're into.
One or is that a different one?
Oh, that's the same one. Look how cute. He's just running and running. Really fast, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, don't get shot.
Very near.
I always hate seeing them run off of our property. You know, knowing that their deaths could be imminent it gets me upset.
This season we haven't heard a lot of hunters.
No. It is so cold out here. We determined there was a low-lying piece of fence, and Uvea must have been curious or perhaps looking to eat the green grass on the other side. She probably got zapped by the current and couldn't return to her friend Dominic. Or maybe she just needed some alone time. He can be a nudge. Our apple orchard is primarily planted with cider apples, and since moving here, we've done absolutely nothing with them except feed them to our donkeys. The birds, hornets, and deer also enjoyed them. Well, this year we thought it would be great to make cider. Did we have the time? Not really, but what's another project on top of several others? We began picking them in October, finished in November, and were ready to make cider the first week of December. Our neighbor has a press that's over 100 years old and showed us the cider making process, and we somehow managed to communicate with our broken French. It starts by washing the apples, then placing them into a grinder where they're mushed up and scooped onto a big wooden bed of the cider press. None of this is proper cider making terminology, so don't scold me. The apples are then covered with oat straw and layers are created. It turns out we were a bit short on the apples, so we had to head back to our orchard to pick a few more. Then the pressing begins. We missed the first pressing the day prior, but I was there to help out with the second pressing. The boards are removed, the straw and apple mixture cut and mounded higher for another squeeze. The cider is strained to a vat. This part was lost in translation, but I believe it's heated to stave off any bacteria. It's then transferred into wooden barrels for a minimum of a couple of weeks to ferment. Then voila, cider. During the fermentation process, the sugar content is checked, so you can decide if you prefer sweet or dry cider. Since our apples are organic, they grow with naturally occurring yeast on the skin, so fermentation will begin almost immediately. We should get a dozen or so bottles of alcoholic cider, and it will last no more than a year, so it should be drunk quickly. Not all at once, though. We'll get sick. We'll give you an update on the finished product in a few weeks. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have something to say, leave us a comment.